I knew that this work, this exhibition is about creating a new work and having the opportunity to make a new work. So I've worked with Jeff before, and we were looking at different ways to follow on from some of the ideas and themes in my work. I had an interest in animals and the relationships that humans have with animals. I was looking at Darwin and the Galapagos Islands, and that sort of eventually turned into looking at zoos as an example of that. My work for NEW is a sort of partial reconstruction of some zoo enclosures at the Berlin Zoo. The process was travelling to Berlin to study the actual zoo and taking photographs. Then we went for a design phase of planning out how it would look, and the last probably 6 weeks has been collecting materials and more recently than that, building the actual structure and putting the installation together. One key material was the tiles. So I mimicked the tiles from the Berlin Zoo, I mimicked the pattern that's there. A lot of the additional materials come from a salvage yard, or various salvage yards around Melbourne. So it was a long search to try and match up with some of the sort of apparatuses that I'd seen in the Berlin Zoo, to try and match them in one way or another. A lot of my work deals with animals. I've worked with pets before, with Dachshund sausage dogs for the Dachshund UN. Recently I worked with greyhound dogs and greyhound trainers, which is a sort of different more exploitative relationship. And for this project there's no animals present, but it's still another relationship that exists. I'm not sure I'd like to say what it means per se, but I know what I was thinking about is how we use animals to define ourselves, and I quite often try and break that down, the perceived difference between animals and humans. So the zoo is an obvious example of humans treating animals in a way that's not ideal. So I've tried to borrow the visual language of a zoo and represent it in a gallery, and get people to consider what that might mean about how we treat animals and also how we live ourselves. I guess I'm working a lot of the time in terms of thinking about what I might like to do, and then depending on the project there's always an intensive period of development and then a sort of construction and building period that follows. So I would describe my practice as sculpture and installation, often with a live performance element as well. I'm inspired by wanting to be able to talk about something and the issues in the world that bother me. Yeah. To be included in an exhibition like this is very exciting for me. To be able to work on a large scale in a beautiful space like this.